As you could probably tell by the title of this video, this is part 2 of the round 100 starting challenge. For those of you who don't know what this challenge is, you start the game on round 100 with only the starting pistol and 50,000 points with just 60 seconds until zombies start spawning in. In the previous video, I showed how I completed all of the base DLC maps on Black Ops 3, but this video will show all of the Chronicles maps. Once again, with the info out the way, let's get into each map and how I went about them. The first Chronicles map was Knacked. This map was by far the longest, as you can only get your perks through the Wonder Fizz machine and there's no Pack-a-Punch, so since I was playing without Gobblegums, the only way I was able to kill is by getting the Thunder Gun from the mystery box. So as I loaded up into the map, I went to the Wonder Fizz and I was lucky enough to get Quick Revive immediately. I then went to the box and tried to get the Thunder Gun, but with no luck during the 60 seconds, I then hoarded up the zombies and went to the Wonder Fizz to try and get Stamina up in Juggernog. The way to go about getting perks was a little tricky, especially without Jug. What you would have to do is get the Horde up in the box room and slowly make your way up to the Wonder Fizz room while keeping the zombies quite compact so the slow runners don't get too spread out from the fast runners. Once you're in the Wonder Fizz room, you can then hit the Wonder Fizz and then make your way to the cabinet, then back around to the Wonder Fizz where you should be able to look at the perk and pick it up, if it's a perk you were looking for. After a few minutes of doing this, I managed to get Stamina up and soon after Juggernog. After getting my perks, I then went back to the box room and tried my luck with the box again, this time with much more success as I managed to get the Thunder Gun within just a few hits. However, this Thunder Gun alone wouldn't be enough to take me through to the end of the round, as there are 38 hordes of zombies on round 100. With the Thunder Gun only being able to take out 14 hordes, this meant I still needed to get another 2 Thunder Guns from the box in order to get to the end of the round. Since I didn't have that many points left over, I decided to make points by shooting zombies with the Kuda as I was hoarding them up. In order to hoard the zombies up, I'd do small loops and cutbacks around each area of the box room. Thankfully, hoarding up on Knacked is quite simple, and I did this with relative ease. Once I'd run out of Thunder Gun ammo, I would trade it out for the KRM and begin spinning the box for another one. In order to trade, I would get the hoard up, as I normally would, and then do a loop around the box area of the room. The biggest thing to look out for while doing this is zombies despawning and respawning, as sometimes they can catch you off guard, but other than that, it's quite simple. I basically repeated this process in order to complete the round, and all in all, after the third Thunder Gun, it took me 33 minutes just for Knacked. Now onto my favourite BO3 map, Vrugt. This map is probably the biggest pain to try and get set up on, especially starting on round 100, but after that it has a really fun trap strategy. After I spawned in, I bought QR and then went straight up to power. I then went back the way I came and bought Speed Cola in Juggernog, and after that I went back up to power, hit the box once and hit the Wonder Fizz, which luckily gave me Stamina up. With that out of the way, the zombies began spawning in, however I needed to get the Wonder Waff for a safety weapon in case the zombies were able to trap me. So I began hitting the box slowly while keeping the horde of zombies close by, and within just a few hits I managed to get the weapon. Now that I had the Waff, I could start running the trap strategy, which consists of staying on the top floor only with the jug stairs debris closed. I started off at the double tap trap, where there's a little exploit in which the trap slightly sticks out and you can use that in order to camp at the trap to kill the zombies that actually come out of the barrier. Once the trap had ended, I would slowly make my way to the back by the closed off jug stairs, then from there sprint hugging the right hand side of the wall and make it through the doorway. If there were any zombies blocking the doorway, I would shoot them off in order to make it through. I would then slowly bring the zombies to the other trap just past Speed Cola. You want to make sure you do this slowly, as if you travel too far away from the zombies on BO3, they will despawn and respawn somewhere close to you. When I had the full horde at the other trap, I would switch it on, kill the entire horde, run through the trap and pretty much sprint all the way back to the other trap and switch it on straight away. And after doing this for about 11 or 12 minutes, the round was over. There you go. Not bad. Like a 12-minute round. Well, after I got the WAF. The swamp map, Shiro Nui. This map I decided a WAF wasn't particularly necessary, and so I prioritized perks at the start of the game. I went and bought QR, went over to storage, and was lucky enough to get stamina up straight away once again. I then went over to the comms room and managed to get Juggernog as well, and at this point I decided to start running the strategy. I started off using the flogger in order to kill a horde of zombies. After the horde was killed, I then carefully proned underneath the trap and ran over to storage and stayed behind that trap until I thought it was safe enough to run back through. After which, I would then make my way slowly back over to the flogger, do the same thing again, then go to the comms room trap, in which I would once again sit inside the hut with the trap on until it seemed safe enough to run back through. Then after about 18 minutes or so, I managed to complete Shiro Nui, taking one down in the process. Nostalgia. Probably the most popular word to describe Kino the Totem. However, the way I decided to play Kino is anything but nostalgic. I started off by going the right hand side route to switch on power after picking up Quick Revive. Once power was on, I hit the Wonder Fizz and got stamina up, then headed over to Jug and finally double tap. I then went up into the M8 room and bought the M8 and tried my luck for the Thunder Gun for one hit of the box, but didn't get it. I then went over to spawn to link the teleporter to Pack-a-Punch, and then I teleported and Pack-a-Punched my M8. Within my first teleport, I managed to get Deadwire on the M8, and when I got back, I ran straight over to the M8 room and began the strategy. Let's go. This strategy is pretty simple, but it can get a little sketchy, especially without the Thunder Gun. I started off by switching the trap on and sitting on the other side. This kills all the zombies spawning on the inside, and because of the zombies pathing, makes the ones coming up the stairs come through the trap and die as well. For this strategy to work, you want the door behind you closed. Once the trap turned off, I then ran loops and shot Deadwire around the entire upstairs room, making sure to shoot Deadwire every 6 to 8 seconds or so. And I would do this until the trap was ready to be turned on again, after which I would repeat the strategy until the round was over. This only took around 15 minutes. Ascension is a map that I would consider to be one of the easiest, if not the easiest map on BO3. However, the setup makes it a little more difficult, especially when Pack-a-Punching. So to start off, I went up to the top door of spawn and headed up to power, as I want to keep the other door closed in order to run the spawn room strategy. Once I'd switched the power on, I then ran down the stairs, bought Jug, ran over to the speed cola lander area. I then called the lander, used it to get the first one done for opening Pack-a-Punch. After going back into spawn due to the lander, I then hold up the zombies, making sure none would be able to block me as I try and leave the spawn room, and then I buy stamina up and make my way over to the lander in that area. After taking the lander, I repeat the same thing over at Widow's Wine Lander, which now finally allows me to activate Pack-a-Punch. On my way to push the button in power, I hit the Wonder Fizz and manage to get double tap. I then activate the rocket test launch and head over to pap the Shiva to get dead wire on it. With getting it quite quickly, I then pap my Kuda and try and get turned. Pack-a-punching can be a little risky with a full horde of zombies, so the best thing to do is take them quite wide so you have enough room to keep doing loops. Anyway, with Pack-a-punching done, all that's left is to keep doing cutbacks in spawn and activating dead wire and turned until the round's over. Probably the easiest map I completed. I started off by buying QR and running down towards power the Waterfall way in order to keep the Kuda door closed. I then bought stamina up and double tap and then had zombies spawning in already. I then made my way over to Jug, which happened to be in the mud area, which was quite unfortunate. After I got all my perks, I had to hit the box in order to try and get either the monkey bombs or the baby gun. This is because Pack-a-Punch is in the worst position possible, and I believe without at least one of them, it would have been borderline impossible to Pack-a-Punch. What? In order to Pack-a-Punch, I went and found the stone plate, and then ran straight up to Pap. Once there, I papped my Kuda and instantly threw a monkey. After picking it up and re-Pack-a-Punching, I threw my second monkey, and I was incredibly lucky to get dead wire immediately. I then ran down into the Kuda room and started training. The strategy I ran is a more simple strategy than those used for world record games. I would shoot dead wire next to the Kuda wall by, stand there for a second while they're stunned, do a loop of the room until I get to the Kuda again in order to shoot dead wire. Took me around 30 minutes to finish the round, probably due to hitting the box. Thank fuck for that. Fuck this map, dude. Moon was completely and utterly broken. Now usually Moon is quite a fast map with a fast strategy. However, the mod changes something on Moon, which changes the zombie spawn rate, which is meant to be that of round 100, all the way down to round 1 spawns. This ruined the map, however I did still finish the round, even though it was broken. After I teleported to spawn, I bought QR and headed through Tunnel 6, bought the Kuda, and then hit the box trying to get the wave gun. After getting the Weevil from the box, I then just waited to be able to Pack-a-Punch. However, I took the most stupid down of the entire challenge as I tried to get to the teleporter pad jumping over a railing that you can't jump over. After finally realizing you can't jump over the railing, I then got dead wire on the Kuda and turned on the Weevil and sat in Tunnel 11. As you can see by the video, the spawns were completely broken, but it was kind of funny watching my turn zombie bullying the fuck out of all the other zombies. After about 25 minutes of this, the round was finally over. That's crazy. Shut up, Muffy. Thank you so much. Yes! My pain is over! Literally a fucking 26-minute round or some shit, dude. Finally, the last map in this challenge is Origins. This map was also pretty challenging, maybe the second or third hardest to actually get set up on. So to begin with, I activated Gen 1 and bought QR. I then went over to Gen 4 and killed the Panzer with trip mines and activated Gen 4 in order to buy Jug. I then went over to Gen 5 and turned it on and bought Stamina up. With all of my perks out of the way, I could now focus on getting Pack-a-Punch activated, so I went around the map to Gen 6, Gen 3 and Gen 2, got them all on, and ran all the way back to Gen 4 to buy the KN. After this, I then attempted to get double tap from the Wonder Fizz, but with no luck, I finally started Pack-a-Punching. However, in order to do this safely, I could only Pack-a-Punch once, run around the trenches to the back at Gen 5, then run all the way back up to Pap. This made it tedious but doable, and I got Deadwire after just a couple of tries. I then decided it would be a good idea to build the shield, so I ran around the map collecting all the parts and built it in the area between Gen 2 and 3. I then trained at Gen 4 until my shield broke, ran back down to get a shield and trained at Gen 3 to try and get double tap from the Wonder Fizz machine. Still unable to get it, I continued to train at Gen 3 until my shield broke, and then I got a new one and ran back up to Gen 4 and managed to clear the round in about 20 minutes, with never being able to get double tap. Oh, and this is actually the end of the round as well. Let's go, guys. That's the challenge complete. Good stuff. And I still couldn't get double tap. 5 hours, 25 minutes and 36 seconds to complete round 100 on all 14 maps. No, don't restart. And there we are. The round 100 starting challenge completed on every single BO3 zombies map without gobblegums in around 5 hours and 25 minutes. This has got to be one of the most fun challenges I've actually tried, and one I might try again in the future to try and beat my own time. Thank you all for watching this video. If you did enjoy, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. These videos do take a while to make. If you do want more of them, be sure to comment down below. Also, if you have any challenge ideas you'd like to see me try, let me know. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.